Greetings, my name is Lily and welcome to my podcast. This podcast is called Talking About Random Things or TART, and basically just me monologuing for about 5 minutes or more in probably a very messy and unorganized manner. Most of this is my personal view and they can be wrong, and I'm pretty positive they are. Alright, without further ado, let's go straight to the topic of today's podcast, which is mental health. I know it's quite a heavy topic for the first episode, but it's been on my mind for weeks now and I really want to get it out. I have a feeling that mental health is disregarded by many people, especially people from the previous generations. I might be wrong, but you'd have to admit that your mental health was ignored at some point in the past, or maybe even right now. And in this episode, I'd like to talk about the possible reasons why this happens. And I want to stress that this does not mean I think those people are right. I want to share my view so you guys can partly understand their behaviors and won't feel as angry when it happens again. Firstly, I think a part of why some people from previous generations fail to acknowledge the importance of mental health is the way they were brought up. They grew up in war. They had to deal directly with the aftermath, and maybe they were taught that accepting weaknesses was not an option. They went through their own tough times, so when they look at ours, they might think that, sheesh, that's nothing compared to what I had to go through. And they think that we're weak. And I also learned that in Vietnam during the war and sometime after it, it was illegal to create or listen to cheesy and sentimental music because it quote unquote weakened people's will to fight. Another thing is that time has changed and that leads to our viewpoints change. Their difficulties back then probably were more on their material life, like how they make a living, how they can get education, things like that. Meanwhile, we have a better and more advanced environment to live in, and we start to care more about our mental well-being. We care of how we feel, we care of how other people feel, we care of how they feel towards us. In marketing, I learned about Maslow hierarchy of needs, which is simply put a pyramid describing levels of needs of humans. The previous generations probably focused more on the lowest two levels, which are physiological and safety needs, which means their material life. And for us, because we already have those basics, we focus more on the higher levels like love and belonging and self-esteem. We long for the sense of connection, of being approved and accepted. And my last reason is about motivation. I can say many parents don't understand why their kids feel like a failure over someone better than them, and yet don't want to change for the better. At least that's my case. And the answer for that is our source of motivation is different. We are not as aggressive to achieve our goal like older people. We're more statistical, tongue twist, and we think about our goal more than just jump straight to it. And because we are more aware of ourselves, we tend to compare to others consciously and subconsciously, and that continuous comparison tires us. And then our family might not get it most of the time. We will get disappointed, upset, and even more demotivated. So in summary, our parents may not understand us because they were brought up differently in different environments and they had different viewpoints and motivations. It's great if they can understand how you feel, but if they don't, it's okay. It's normal even, and let's be frank, we can't even understand ourselves sometimes. However, our generation is a lot braver than the previous ones. We have more courage to speak up about our problems. We accept difficulties. We accept changes. We accept differences. And that is a trait that I think we should be very proud of. And I always believe that as long as you're brave enough to reach out, you will find the people who get you. It might be a very long and tedious journey, but you will find them. And that's the end of today. I hope that after listening to this podcast, you will feel somewhat less alone and more understood. Please have faith that there are people out there who will listen to you and will help you go through your tough times. It doesn't have to be your parents, your close ones, but there will be someone. And this, my very first episode, is messy, it's unorganized, it's low quality, and I will learn more along the way, and I will learn it with you guys. So thank you so much for your time. Love you all, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.